Hi, I know you're wondering what these pictures are: a skull, magnifying glass, a letters, and many more. These photos are connected to our topic for today, which is nature and function of social sciences. On our topic, you will be able to know how social science analyze the group of life and mind with an emphasis on learning about man socially as human beings related to other human beings through an analysis of anthropology, geography, sociology, political science, economics, linguistics, and psychology. And now, let's proceed.
What is anthropology?
Logically, anthropology comes from the Greek words anthropos, meaning to say man, and logos, meaning to say study. So anthropology is the study of humankind over time and space. So sila yung mga nagsisik ng humanity's biggest question. Katulad na lang na sino nga ba tayo at saan nga ba tayo galing. So in anthropology, man is the focal point. In anthropological investigation and analysis regardless of color, affiliation, belief, and technology.
What are the functions of anthropology?
Dapat natin maunawaan ang kasindami ng aspeto ng buhay ng tao. Dito rin natin maunawaan yung proseso ng kultura ng iba't ibang tao. At mula dito, maaari rin magbigay ng mungkahi kung paano pumapasok yung mga malawakang pagbabago sa buong mundo at mabigyan ng kilos na naaayon sa natuklasan.
What are the nature of anthropology?
So yung anthropologist, hindi lang siya about sa pag-aaral tungkol sa lipunan ng tao. Ngunit para maunawaan din natin yung mga complicated issues ng modernong mga tao. So kapag sinabing primitive, ito yung sinauna, noong panahon, or kauna-unahan. So yung mga problemang kinakaharap nila ay yung naging way sa proseso ng pag-unlad ng modernong panahon. Ang layunin ng social anthropologies ay hindi lamang pag-aralan ng lipunan ng tao, kundi upang maunawaan din ang mga issue ng buhay ng tao. Ang mga anthropologists then ay hindi lang nakapokus sa pag-aaral ng mga problema, sinusubukan din nila humanap ng solusyon para dito. So kapag sinabing developmental anthropologists, sila yung mga nag-share ng commitment to critique and contribute to projects and institutions that create and administer Western projects. And when we say action anthropologists, is an approach that seeks to develop the understanding of social and cultural life.
Geography. Geography is so much more than just identifying cities and countries on capital on a map. Geographies look to find connection between the physical processes at work on the Earth's surface and how people used to interact with the Earth. Geography etymologically comes from the Greek words geo means to say earth and graphen means to say description. Geography helps us answer the biggest question like what's the story of the earth and how do humans change their environments.
What are the functions of geography?
Sa pamamagitan ng geography, naunawaan natin yung mga differences ng pattern of human distribution, yung mga ugnayan sa pagitan ng tao at sa pisikal na kapaligiran, upang malaman din natin yung mga lokasyon ng mga lugar at yung mga cultural characteristic ng isang lugar.
What are the nature of geography?
So yung geography yung nagbibigay ng maayos at makatwirang paglalarawan ng katangian ng Earth's surface. Ang mahusay na pagpapahayag ng core of geography ay ang areal differentiation at spatial interaction. Kapag sinabing areal differentiation, describes and explains difference between places, and ang spatial interaction is the general term of any movement of people, goods, or information over space that result from the decision making.
What is sociology?
Sociology is a scientific study of society. The perspective highlights the external influence that facilitate or constrain human action. So this is from the Latin word socius, meaning to say associate or companion, and the Greek word logos, meaning to say the study of. The term sociology was coined by Auguste Comte, a French philosopher. Sociology is a study of society, patterns of social interactions, social life, social change, and social causes and consequences of human behavior. Society is a large group of people who shares the same law, rights, and resources.
When we say economics, it deals with the study of allocation of scarce resources to answer the unlimited human needs and wants.
What are the functions of economics?
So, there are three functions of economics, which are feeding, digestion, and growth, are the vital processes of living beings. Similarly, production, consumption, and growth are the essential of economies. So, ganito yan. Una, yung produksyon. Sa isang ekonomiya, mahalaga na dapat tuloy-tuloy ang produksyon. Kabilang sa produksyon, ang anumang aktibidad at pagbibigay ng anumang serbisyo na nagbibigay kasiyahan at inaasahang makatugon sa isang pangangailangan. So yung produksyon, ito yung mga ginagawa sa sakahan katulad ng trigo, gulay, pulso at iba pa. Kasama rin dito yung mga serbisyo ng mga tindero, mga ngalakal, doktor, guro at iba pa. Ang pangalawang mahalagang proseso ay ang consumption o pagkonsumo. Ang ibig sabihin ng pagkonsumo ay ang paggamit ng mga kalakal at serbisyo pang ekonomiya sa kasiyahan at kagustuhan ng isang tao. So may dalawang kategorya yung consumption. Ito ang single-use good at double-use good. So yung single-use good ay yung mga services ng doktor, bus drivers, or waiters. Yung double-use good naman ay yung mga magagamit mo ng short period of time or long period of time. Katulad ng lamang ng furniture, TV, at iba pa. Sa huling proseso, titignan natin ang proseso kung saan lumalago ang mga ekonomiya tulad ng nabubuhay na bagay. Ang paglago ng ekonomiya ang proseso kung saan tunay na kita ng bawat kapita ng isang bansa ay tumataas sa mahabang panahon.
What is linguistics?
Linguistic. We can observe and study how language works like any other phenomenon, and that's linguistic. Linguistic is a branch of science that studies the nature of languages, attempting to define what human languages are like, how they evolve and change, and how people acquire and use them. Linguistics is a problem-solving field that shares many similarities with the sciences. Linguistics has natural links with a wide range of academic disciplines, which means linguistics is a science without denying that linguistics is closely related to the human discipline. Back before the 20th century, linguistics was a part of studying the history language, but now linguistics is a subject of study regardless of the disciplines in which we study a language, not concerning other areas but language itself. The main concern of modern linguistics is to describe language, to study the nature of language, and to set up a theory of language.
Let's define first political science. Political science is the systematic study of the state and government. From the Greek word polis, which means city-state, and sire, which means to know. Under the rubric of the political behavior, political scientists study how and why people choose to participate in politics, the determinants of vote choice, and the nature of public opinion.
What are the functions of political science? Function: a social study concerning the allocation and transfer of power in the and decision-making, the roles and system of governance, including governments and international organizations. Political behavior and public policies.
Politics is not only mere institution of governance but also a mechanism for achieving societal goals. Political science is thus a study of the state in the past, present, and future. So in politics, it is the best to be a wise citizen in a world full of deceptions and empty promises. However, if someone is unaware of how politics function or should work, they will continue to be ignorant. So in terms of political system and how to operate a government, we really need to understand this concept. It's basically one thing we need to understand in order to overcome our ignorance.
The word psychology comes from the Latin word which means study of the soul. The definition has evolved over the last several decades. Today, we can safely call the science of behavior and mental processes.
What are the functions of psychologists.
Psychologists believe that psychology's purpose was to help people, was to investigate the human character, origins, fate, and soul. However, the soul is a metaphysical concept. It is not visible. We can reach scientific conclusions based on what we've seen and felt. Experiments in the field of soul.
Nature. Psychology is the scientific study and practical application of observable behavior and mental processes of organisms. Psychology differs from other social sciences such as sociology, history, or economics because psychology specifically deals with the study of an individual. The other social sciences will study groups or history.
We all know what are the nature and function of social science. Now, let's proceed on our next topic, which is the methods of creating history.
Sa historiography, ang positivism, ito yung paniniwala ng mga historiador na dapat ituloy yung layunin na malaman ang nakaraan. Sa pamamagitan ng positivism, na-embrace rin natin yung nakaraan o yung mga tao sa nakaraan.
Narrative chronology. Kapag sinabing narrative chronology in history, creating ito ay ang paggawa sa laysay ng nakaraan. So, sa paggamit ng chronology bilang narrative, nasasangkot siya sa pag-uugnay ng mga pangyayari sa pagkasunod-sunod ng mga events.
Biography-Hagiography. What is the difference between biography and hagiography? So, biography is a person's life story, especially one published, while hagiography is the study of saints.
Ang layunin ng dialectical analysis ay lumalampas sa isang bod upang suriin ang mga ideya at mga halaga, ang kanilang kahalagahan at ang kanilang limitasyon. Hindi mahalaga kung ano ang iyong konklusyon, hanggat nagpapakita ka ng mahusay na dialectical analysis mula doon. Ito ay ginawa na naging orthodoxies bago ang mga ito dumating at hamunin ang mga revisionism.
Ito yung may doubt or may pag-aalinlangan. So in the description of negativism, ito yung pagre-reject ng mga tao when it comes in history. For example, yung kay President Ferdinand Marcos, sinasabi ng mga historian na isa siyang magnanakaw at maraming namatay nung time niya. Pero nire-reject yon ng mga tao kasi ang nasa isip nila nung time na yon is golden time. At sinasabi nila na si Ferdinand Marcos ang pinakamagaling na naging leader ng Pilipinas.
School of Psychology. Structuralism. William Wundt and Edward Titchener are the pioneers of this school called structuralism. Structuralism wanted to study the conscious experience or the mind. They wanted to look at the structure of conscious experience or the structure of mind. So, they are interested in knowing the building blocks on the structure of mind, and these building blocks are identified as sensations, feelings, and images.
Functionalism. William Thames and John Dewey are the founders of the structuralism. Structuralism is derived from the word structure, and functionalism is from the word function. So structuralists were interested in determining the structure of the mind, whilst the functionalists were interested in determining the function that mental processes or conscious experience serve to the individual.
Pioneers of behaviorism are John Watson and B.F. Skinner. Behaviorists rejected the structuralist and the functionalist idea of psychology as the study of consciousness. Behaviorism aims to study observable behavior.
Cognitivism. Here the mind is considered as an information processor, like a computer. Learners are actively involved in the way they process information. Cognitivism developed as a reaction to behaviorism and gained credence in 1950.
Gestalt school began with Wolfgang Kahler and Kurt Kafka. They were pioneers. Gestalt school also rejected the idea of psychology as the study as consciousness. Gestalt school defined the psychology as the study of the linguistic process of perceptual organization. The goal of Gestalt was to investigate the principle of perceptual organization.
To make you fully understand, let's recall.
Structuralism. Pioneers are Wilhelm Wundt and Edward Titchener. Identify the basic parts or structure of the conscious mind. Functionalism. Pioneers are William James and Charles Darwin. Describe how the conscious mind aids adaptation to an environment. Psychoanalytic theory. Pioneer is Sigmund Freud. Understand how unconscious thought causes psychological disorder. Gestalt psychology. Pioneers are Max Wertheimer and Wolfgang Kohler. Study subjective perceptions as an unified whole. Behaviorism. Pioneers are John B. Watson and B. F. Skinner. Describe behavior in response to environmental stimuli.
That's all for today. Thank you for listening.